Okay, guys, good evening. So last time we covered data loading and also we have finished with data unloading. So one more part in data loading remaining is Snowpipe. So I was just discussing with Vinod that there is some issue in my AWS account. So I need, whenever we do this data loading through Snowpipe, we need to configure SQS notation. Uh, Okay, so all that I will have to explain to you, but somehow there's some issue in my account, so I'm not able to do that. So maybe next week I'll take it up. So today, whatever is left over of data loading and data unloading, that we will cover, and also we will finish uh, the types of tables in Snowflake. So which is a very small topic, so we can finish it today by itself. Okay, so yeah, so let's begin with the thing that is left over. So as I said last time, while data loading, it is quite possible that there are some records that cause error from a set of say 100 records in a file. Maybe 5, 6 are erroneous and they are not loaded, right? So how do we capture those records? Okay, so that we'll see today. So there is a validate function. Okay, it's a table function called validate provided by Snowflake. So it loads so you have to basically pass the table name which you have loaded, and you have to pass the copy command. So basically whenever you load the data, it is through copy command only, right? So the copy command will generate a query ID, right? So in this history view where you see all these queries, so here only you will see the ID generated also. Okay, so yeah, so using that ID, you can pass to the function, and then that ID will give you the erroneous records. So I will load some bad records, try to load some bad records, and then I will show you how to retrieve it, and then you can capture that particular record in some table. You can create an error table or some other table, and you can also go and fix those records for the later load, right? Like how we do in any normal data pipeline.
Hello. Yeah. Hi, Abdul.
Yes,
This
sir.
is Venkat Abdul. Just now I joined. Can you just walk through what you have done?
Yeah, no, I just started. So we are going to look at how we capture the error records.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever we are loading some data, then
Okay.
it is quite possible that out of 100 records in one file, there are some records, say 5, 6 records, which did not get loaded due to some issue, data
Mm-hmm.
issue, data type mismatch issue or whatever it is. So how to know that, what are those records? And then we can go and fix
Okay.
them
Okay.
for the later load.
The other thing is that this is actually one of the most common entry questions in any ETL tool, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. Okay,
Snowflake has
Abdul.
provided validate table function for that.
You can
So
hear my voice now, Abdul.
yeah, I can
It's
hear
now
you. What
better, right?
about me? Yes, I can hear you. What about me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. But I
Yeah, I
don't
can
know.
hear you, Abdul.
Okay. Yeah.
It's clear from your end.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, so I was saying validate is a table function provided by Snowflake through which you will capture those error records. Okay, so I will show you, I'll give one demo quickly. So what we will do is we will open employee file. Let's take this file here. Okay, and what we will do is uh, let me see the table columns also. Demo DB, public, and basic. Okay. So let's say we will do some issue or maximum. We'll create some issue in the date field. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll make this a text, some text maybe. I'll say error example. And here I will probably say, this is 12, this is December, right? So let's make it maybe 14, right? It's not a valid month, right? Let's try to load this. So I will load it through our local only. I'll not put it on S3. So I hope you all remember the steps. Let me see if there's already records in this. Okay, I have connected to my account. This database demo schema is already there. So let's put the files. I'll just put one file, okay? Okay, one file has been uploaded. So can you tell me where did I stage it? If you look at this put command that I fired, can you tell me which stage did I put it in? The files?
I think table stage.
Yes, that's right. So if you want to see the contents, it's always the command list and give @ and the name of the stage, whatever stage it is. Okay, so we have this file. This I can do on the web UI also. Right. So now let me load it. Let me take out the copy command here. So as you can see, I have deliberately put two bad records. So I am basically not saying that on error, don't skip the file. Okay. So I have excluded that option here. This, so by default, it is CSV. I'm giving a CSV here, and our table name is this one. So we are copying into this table. At the rate percentage. Okay, copy into this. You don't need, you already set the context here. Data error example. Oh, sorry, I need to give the pattern also. I think by default it is skip file. So if that is why it has skipped it. So it says if you want to still continue, if there is error, you should use continue. Okay. So all these options are always, if you want to explore more options, like my copy command gives me what all options. I have mentioned them on the slide also. Yeah, I think it's not on the slide. So you can just go to the documentation, go to copy command. Yeah, and see all the options here. Copy into, from, files, and there will be an on error something here. So these are copy options. Is there on error here? Yeah, see this on error. Continue or skip file or skip the number, the file at which number or abort. So all these kind of things are there. So there's a purge also. I had showed you earlier, right? If you load and if you want to immediately remove the files from the stage, you can do purge also. And if you want to reload a file, even if it is duplicating, you can use a force equal to true, so on. So if I'll have to make it continue. So that's why I made it on error continue. Okay. So let's do data error example is not recognized file emp basic underscore one. Executed with 0 files. It's not recognized that. Yes. So 5 rows passed, 3 loaded. Okay, 2 failed. Right. So let's see what it says. Error, data error example is not recognized. So that is what I had made here. Error example, right? But here you will not get a full or proper explanation of the error. So as I said, Snowflake provides you something called as a table function called as validate. So that is where we will have to go and check. So if we go to the history, okay, and if we refresh, so this is the copy command of which query ID we have. And also you can get it by last underscore query ID function also. Okay, so anything that is fine, you can get. So this is, we just have to copy this. Guys, just hold on. Yeah. So we have to use this validate table function that Snowflake provides us. Okay, and then we can get the proper errors and the records that have the issue. So let's see this. So see what it says: validates the files loaded in a past execution of the copy command and returns all the errors encountered during the load rather than just the first error. Okay, so here, as you can see, while the loading status, it will just show you the first error. Right? First error, that's it. But if you want to get all the records, you have to use this validate command. So the table that we've used is EMP basic one. And the job ID is, or job ID or the query ID is this. Let's see. See, it says line 1. Row number 1 and 2. So did I change there? Yes, 1 and 2. That's it. I should have said change somewhere here. So it could have not shown immediate lines, but anyway, you guys can try it out. And if you see, again, they will give you the line 1 number also, row number also, and it will give you the error also. See, date error example is not recognized. Date 14/10/2017 is also not recognized. So the type of error also you will get, the file name also you will get, okay, and the row number and the column name. Which column also there was an error, that also you will get. So you can capture this in your error table, right? So you can just say insert into your error table, okay? Then your column names, whatever columns you want, and as select from this table. Okay, you can choose certain columns which you want if you don't want to capture all of them, and then you can capture it. So this is how always you can capture the error records and go back to the respective files, go back to respective line numbers, row numbers, and also you can go back to your source system and inform them exactly where the error is. Okay, so it is how very easily Snowflake can do that for you. Other databases, at least on which I have worked, do not give such clear-cut, capturing. We have to write customized procedures or functions to do that. Okay, so not sure about any other database which provides this. There might be, but yes, Snowflake does that for you through the validate command. And this validate command doesn't work for Snowpipe. Okay, in case of Snowpipe, when the data loading is through Snowpipe, it doesn't capture the error records. There is some other way for that. We will look into that once we come to it. But this is for the normal bulk data loading, and it includes your semi-structured data as well as the structured data. Okay, so yeah, any doubts in this before we proceed?
Abdul,
Yeah,
I have a question, right?
yeah,
So usually, what we do is we always run this
Clear
copy
Abdul, like,
command. Huh?
so maybe okay.
sorry.
Sorry, Venkat,
Sorry.
go ahead. Venkat?
I think some issue at Venkat's end. Yeah, Shiva,
Okay.
I think you can complete. You just started, right?
Yeah.
You complete.
Yeah. Well, Abdul, see, the real-time scenario, we copy through some automation script, either maybe Perl or Python, we execute this copy command, right?
Yeah,
We don't manually do it. When we,
yeah,
after we go and we establish a session the same way how you just did, right? You log in into Search SQL, and when you are sure the file has been ready, right? So
yeah,
you put the file into a local stage, and it is a process. Every time when we run a job, we run like that, right?
yeah,
So in that case, after I load the command, I want to know session ID of the copy command I just executed in the previous step. Then only I can I would know how many records are registered. What is the way to find just now you told me. Is
Right.
there any way
So
I find the session ID or query ID, whatever the 01A29, it's a job ID, right?
yeah,
So is there any
query
way I
ID,
can get
query
a
ID.
job
This is
ID?
query ID.
Yeah, query ID, right? Is there any
Yeah.
way I can, the moment after the run execution of copy command, I can get this query ID by using any means so that continuously I can go and select this and put it in the other table like that.
Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, I understood. So basically what you're trying to say is whenever this will be through obviously a part of script, which is, you know, JavaScript procedures, or now Snowflake has come up with its own procedural language also. So these commands basically will be part of that. Firstly, that is what you said, correct? Also,
Uh,
the
no, it is not necessarily. See, now I am not going into Snowflake itself. I just load the data, right? It is the
yeah,
loading part. So when I load, it is when we wanted to reconcile it. Okay, I have passed. The file has 100 records, but
yeah,
the table has only 94 records. So I wanted to know where are the remaining
errors.
records, right? So in this case, I don't manually go and search for the job ID and run
Right, right.
select start from file data, right? So it
Yes,
should be an
yes,
automated process. I should be able to get the query ID and get all records and dump into this some other error table so that I
yes,
can
yes.
validate and show the value the job the load is completed success or it is partial success or it is failed something else.
Right. Yeah. So, guys, what Venkat is saying is that if whenever I fire this copy command and my data gets loaded, and if there is some issue in
That is
the
Shiva, Abdul. What
oh,
was
I'm
asking.
sorry, Shiva. Sorry. Yeah, Shiva asked a question. Shiva is basically saying that, you know, whenever we fire this copy command, there will be some issue in the data which we want to capture, and here we went to this history view. We took out the ID from there and we put it here, and then that's how we got this table, right? So Shiva is asking, without having to go here, how can we do that? Because obviously, when you are running it from some wrapper script, whether it is from Perl, Python, as Shiva said, you won't go to these sessions because, you know, there'll be, you know, like what, thousands or, you know, hundred thousands of transactions going on daily. So you cannot go and scroll there, right? So he's saying, how can we get the ID here without having to go manually and see that, right? That's what you're saying, Shiva, right?
Uh, yes, something, right? So I won't go and every time go for the history and search for
No,
the
no,
session.
obviously, that's very correct what you're saying. So I want to ask others, like, can you tell how we can do that? Because I've already told you how to do it, but I want others to just try once,
Okay.
like how.
Maybe Abdul, this is Venkat. So
Yes.
normally in SSIS, how it will be there is that you can create a flat file actually.
Hmm.
So the flat file, what you'll do know, what are the error records, what are the structure table, it will automatically pull that file to the flat file actually. So from flat file, you can convert to take from Excel or anything. That's one thing. Another thing is there will be a temporary error log table. The structure will be same as your main table. So what are the error? That will automatically go to the error log table in SSIS actually.
So SSIS is a ETL, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is fine. So ETL, you can do that. You can have a separate error log table. You can just, in your workflow, direct your error records to your log table. That is okay. But here it's not a ETL tool, right? It is, although it has the capabilities of ETL tool, it is going to be done through programming, not through the, drag and drop.
Mm.
So in this case, we have to use validate command or function to capture the error records. But Shiva is asking, without having to go to the history panel, how can I get this ID here for this copy command, right? So that is my question to you all. How can we do that without having to do to Venkat and Vinod? So
No
any,
idea, Abdul.
yeah, and Vinod, what about you?
No idea.
Okay.
Maybe I'll give it a try. Maybe
Yeah, yeah.
maybe there might be some function to get the current session job ID actually. So that we can capture in a parameter and pass it as an input.
Yes, you are very, very close. And that is, you might not be remembering the function, but that's fine because there is a function. Okay. So this is what we have seen last time, right? Whenever we fire a query and immediately when we fire this select last query underscore ID, it gives you the query ID of the last executed statement. So I will do this demo again. Okay. What I'll do is instead of this, I will pass the job ID as last query ID. Let me just go to the documentation quickly and type validity. Okay, yeah, this. This is what needs to be passed for the last. Okay, so now I have truncated the table. There's nothing there. The file is already staged. If you look at this, let's remove this. File is already staged. Okay, and this time, okay, let me remove this file also. We will put some more error records. To remove something, it's RM, right? We use the RM command. So I will do some issues, create some issues here also. Maybe I will make an issue in the last. I'll make it 15. Save. Okay. Close. And we'll put that file now. Right, done. This file is loaded. Now this is the fresh file with three error records. Okay. So if we still look at that old one, let's see what is it saying. That old one is gone. Okay, because we have updated the table and everything. Now I will copy or load the table. Okay, 5 parsed, 2 loaded, 3 filled. Okay, let's go to the history here. Refresh. This is my latest, right? I'll just keep it here for record. And now I will fire this. See, 3 issues, right? And if I give this also, same, right? So Shiva, I hope this answers your question. So when you fire this immediately after your copy command, right? It will, in your script, whatever script you have with a bundle of instructions. So when you fire immediately after your copy command, this statement, it will pick the last query of your particular session. Okay, so I hope it clarifies.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes, yes. And also there is something called as last query ID. Last underscore query scope ID. This also gives you the last query ID that was fired. So if we take it out, this is probably for the validate one. Refresh it. So this is the validate one, right? This is the validate query which we had fired. So if we compare it, this is the one. Okay. So this was the last query I had fired. So if I fire the select last query ID after that, it will give me the previous query that I have fired. Okay, so this also we have seen long back when we were looking at the query history and all that. Okay. The other thing is the load history view. Okay, so in the information schema, the load history. So let's read it. This information schema view enables you to retrieve the history of data loaded into tables using the copy command within the last 14 days. Okay, so whatever files you have loaded into particular tables for the last 14 days, you can see the record in the information schema. So if I go to my information schema, there is a load history view here. This one. Okay, so it will show you like which table you loaded, right? Which file you loaded, and what was the status, whether partially loaded or row count, so many things. Okay, and in your account usage, let me see if they give anything. Where do I see the account usage, guys? Can you help me? There's one more schema, right? Account usage. Can you please tell me where to look? It's in the Snowflake shared database, right? See, they keep adding something or the other. They have added something called a score now. God knows what it is. Yeah. So they have this called as copy history. Right? And there's something called as load history also. Right? So that so guys, we just loaded some table, some AMP basics, right? But it's not showing here. Any idea why it's not showing here? It should have shown here also, right? Can you tell me why it's...
It will take some time, right? 30 or 30 minutes or something like that.
Yes, so there is always a latency in case of reflecting in the account usage use. Okay, immediately it will show in information schema, but there is a latency that comes in account usage. But the retention period of these views are more. It's not like 14 days how it is for information schema. The retention of period of data here is more. It is okay. You guys only tell me what is the retention period of copy history and load history tomorrow, in the next week, or on the WhatsApp after this class also you can tell me. Okay. I told you, I showed you the retention period for information schema is 14 days, right? So tell me the retention period for load history and copy history. Okay. Cool, guys. So we have not yet completed data loading.
Abdul,
Yeah.
Abdul, it is a building cycle. It is a building cycle.
It is a what?
Building cycle.
No. Can you tell me the days, exact days?
30 days or some each month, right? Monthly billing cycle, it should be technically.
No.
Isn't it?
No.
Oh.
See, you have these account usage views, right? These are the views.
Yeah.
So if you go here, you see copy history, the data retained is for 1 year. Okay. And similarly, if you go to load history, it's also 1 year. So basically the account usage view, see, if you remember the account versus account usage versus information schema. If you remember, it both were same only. They used to give the same data only, but there were certain differences. Whereas the difference of latency was there, and also retention period time difference is also there. So information schema has a very less retention. It's like 14 days or something like that, 7 days also. But for account usage use, it has a very, very high retention period. So it's almost, if you see, most of them are up to 1 year. So that is one of the differences. Otherwise, that information, both of them that they provide is the same, almost. Okay, see, here is the difference also. Retention of historical data is up to 1 year, while for information schema, it is 7 days to 6 months. Okay, and some for latency period, and it includes account usage, includes the information of dropped objects, and information schema doesn't keep that information. Yeah. So as I said, data loading is not yet finished. Just one topic is there, Snowpipe. I'll cover that next week when my Amazon issue gets resolved. It will require some configuration to be done in SQS. That is your SQS or SNS, I think, simple notification service, because it depends on the notification and event-based notification basically. So I will explain you that as well, and I will show you how to configure Amazon services, and then after that it's very simple. Okay, data loading is not such a big difficult topic in Snowflake. And anyway, for me, for database guys, I don't find many difficult things here in Snowflake actually. One of my students recently, who is working in IBM in Hyderabad, I think. So he got a chance to go to US now. So he learned Snowflake, and they are migrating from SAP to Snowflake. So he also learned from me. So he has got a chance to go to US. He traveled, I think, 2 days back only. So yeah, so he has exhibited good knowledge in Snowflake. So that's why they have made him kind of a member of that team, which is going to do the migration. So yeah, guys, today we will cover this important topic, yet very easy topic. It's not a very difficult topic here. So there are 3 types of tables that Snowflake provides. One is permanent, temporary, transient. So permanent, obviously, all the default tables that we create are permanent tables, and the data that we put or insert in that or update in that is going to be persistent data, which means it is going to be there permanently, unless of course you delete or drop it. So that is going to be permanently persisting in that. Okay, so that is what is called as permanent table, and all the default tables that we create are permanent tables. Okay, so let me read this. In addition to permanent tables, which is the default table type when creating tables, Snowflake supports defining tables as either temporary or transient. Okay, defining tables either. So there are 2 other categories, temporary or transient. So this, I'm sure in all of your databases that you have worked, there is a concept of temporary table also. Like in Oracle also, there is temporary table of 2 types, which is session based, and one which is I think on delete. Unless you delete it, it remains, something like that. I don't remember. But temporary table concept is there. But there is something called as transient also. Okay, which is a new concept provided by Snowflake. So these types of tables are especially useful for storing data that doesn't need to be maintained for extended periods of time. That is transitory data. Okay, so when the data doesn't need to be persisted for too long, that is when you should use temporary or transient tables, especially when you are doing your dev work, right, or QA work. That time you can use these temporary and transient tables for your testing purpose, so that your storage cost will not be very high. So we'll see how it
The
helps.
temporary is session based, right? The temporary table has data only for the particular session.
Yes, we will see that in some time when I create those tables and show you. So we'll see that. But the point here is that it is basically for saving the cost. So I'll show you how we save the cost and all that through this. So but you know now that there are 3 types of tables: permanent, temporary, and transient, right? So just let me open my demo script. So guys, how is your data warehouse batch going? Did you start or halfway or whatever? Because you can get a badge, right, through that. It will kind of, you can put it on your LinkedIn's and all that. Okay. So temporary tables.
Right.
Yeah.
Abdul, what I noticed, right, when you say interview, preparing and all, right, the Python, right, because I have a couple of interviews. Without Python, right, it is become impossible to find a job. Python is like a very, very important skills that everybody should have if you want to work on any cloud technologies, and particularly in US. So the reason why I'm telling you is the we are learning Snowflake, right? The
Yeah.
same way, Python is also very important. We cannot get into this any job or continue working in the any cloud-based job without having at least one programming language. See, the problem what I am facing is, see, being a database person, you will not be exposed into writing a program, Java, something like that, right?
Yes.
So they ask at least any one of the programming language, expertise in any one of the programming knowledge, experience.
Yeah.
So that way, I'm sharing my experience. Maybe others have some programming knowledge experience, right? So if you
Yes.
don't have a programming knowledge experience, it is very, very difficult to get into any job in US. Because
Correct.
any data engineer job that you apply, the first step would be SQL and Python challenge. You know, challenge, right? They give there are a lot of websites, Codility,
Yeah. Yeah.
HackerRank, those
Kaggle.
stuff.
Yeah.
First you have to go and clear that. Then only they will consider that you are a potential candidate, like that.
Correct.
So if you don't have a Python experience or Java, or else Java is a little vague, right? Difficult when compared to Python. So what I would
Correct.
suggest all Vinod or everyone else is start Python right now. Get into Python practice, POCs, do as much as POCs in Python. Then whatever we are doing in the AWS and all, that
Correct.
would be very helpful. Or else the knowledge whatever we get, even though it's Snowflake, right? Without having any Python or any programming language skills, it is very, very difficult to get into the job. Maybe
Correct.
in US. Yeah.
Yes. So that's what I have been telling from day one, right? That you should always try to learn Python. If you look at my previous recordings or even the demo, which is there on the Tamil Bhumi YouTube channel. So I have always emphasized the importance of Python. You need to know Python today. You will not be called a computer literate if you are not knowing Python. Especially for you guys or us, I mean, including myself, you have to be working on those pandas and numpys and libraries which are basically into data manipulation using Python. Okay, so at least that area, you don't have to go and create those Django frameworks or the other website related functioning of Python. You don't have to
No,
go in that
Python,
area.
yeah, pandas and NIMFI. At least pandas. Pandas have
Yes.
a more alive functionality to load into a data frame and all, do transformation and all. That is enough, right?
Right. Right.
At least they first just they'll give you 10 challenges, 10 or
Hmm.
15 challenges in Python, simple challenges only. But
Hmm.
if you don't have a hands-on experience on the Python,
Yeah.
without referring syntax and all, go and clear that 10 question is very difficult. You cannot
Of course.
go search the internet, syntax and all. On fly, you should be able to solve all the questions. At
Yes.
least 7, 8. Then only they'll consider.
Correct.
So without Python, I would say, even though we put a lot of effort in Snowflake, right? Without Python, the Snowflake experience or gathering what we are getting now, that will be useless. It is my personal experience.
No, that you are
So
100% right. Whatever you are saying is 100% right.
yeah,
Python is a
so
must. I have been
yeah,
telling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For example, we are learning loading now, right? We are loading data, loading, unloading, and offloading, getting the data back to stage and extract through offloading process. Any process that we write, we don't use this web UA. Web UA is we don't use it.
Correct.
Everything is whatever we do, we have to do it with scripting only.
Correct.
That is or any shell or script, and also anything what we are automation doing, anything is Python.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
that is what by whatever experience that I am.
No, whatever you're saying, 100% is correct. In fact, I will tell you the third batch workshop in Snowflake, right? So the first is data warehouse and the second one is data sharing, correct? So there's a third batch in Snowflake, which is Python with Snowflake. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So that is the third batch. So, but you guys don't work on Snowflake itself. What will you work on Python? It's a very harsh or say rude, or I don't care what it is. But I don't see you guys practicing Snowflake. Leave Python alone. So what will you, I mean, how will you carry all this? So you need to really take time out, guys. I mean, see, I'll show you one more thing. Since you have taken out this topic, okay, I'll show you guys one more thing. It's a very good feature they have come up with. Snowpark. Right. See, this was, go and watch this video today. Okay, I'm not starting it. You go and watch this today. Earlier, what they did was they had support for Scala and Java to interact with Snowflake. Okay, so it was called basically. So they had this library called Snowpark, which you can access Snowpark table. So basically, it is a code push optimization. It is going to you write client side programming, but that whole execution is going to happen at the database end. It basically it's going to use the compute resources of Snowflake, the warehouses that we have, right? So as you by now know that Snowflake provides a very powerful compute, correct? Because we have these warehouses up to, it can go up to such big sizes. So what happens is, earlier, what they did was, because Snowflake programming was basically limited to procedure oriented through your JavaScript and all that. So what they did was they created a library called Snowpark. Okay, so you can write in the IntelliJ or your Eclipse, those IDEs, right? You have for Java, Scala. You can go and import Snowpark library, and using this the syntaxes of Scala or Java, you can call Snowflake tables, do whatever you want to do, basically with joining and manipulation of data, etc. And that would consume the resources of Snowflake, the warehouses of Snowflake. So it is called as code push optimization, push down optimization, where you are coming to Snowflake and using the program you're writing in Java or Scala, but the resources you're using is for Snowflake. So the Python community was behind. I mean, they had not come with the interface with Python. So but Python is very popular, right? So people who don't know Java and Scala, they were not able to use it. So now they have come up with Python Snowpark also. So yes, to emphasize on what Shiva was saying, Python is a must. At least the data manipulation part, where your NumPy, pandas, import this plotlib, matplotlib and all that, at least you should do that. You should first do the core Python, and then after that you can do these advanced libraries like NumPy and all that. And don't worry of doing everything together. Just start at least. And when doing Python, don't think, okay, I need to do DBT also, I need to do Matillion also, I need to do Informatica also. It will never work like that. You're doing something, do it regularly for those 2-3 months. Okay, so yeah, just go watch this video. There's one more, this short one is also there. Python for Snowpark for Python 2 minutes. So I'm just giving this link. See this today. Okay, and yes, DBT is also gaining very good popularity today in today's world. So if possible, do that also. You can manage Python and DBT together. If you do Python, Snowflake and DBT, you will be a very good, complete data engineer at least. Okay. And learning Python will also, help you to learn further advanced technologies like Airflow is there, and even Matillion, which is a ETL tool. Behind the scenes, it basically converts it to Python program. So you can write
Yeah,
custom.
and also AWS Glue. AWS Glue, right?
Yes,
The AWS Glue is also alternative for DBT for ETL process on cloud,
correct.
right?
Correct.
It's also a popular tool. Company started working on that. In the AWS, began that we should write a PySpark code, all
Right.
this mapping logic and all, right? We
Right.
have to use all the data frame concept inside the Snowflake AWS tool.
Python.
So yeah, but which is PySpark.
Right.
So everywhere without because last month I started applying some jobs, right? Then I noticed that okay, without having any programming language, either
Hmm.
Java or
Yes.
Python,
Python.
it
Yeah.
is very it is impossible, even I would say by experience, to get
Right.
data engineer role, get into data engineer role.
Right. And if you want to go for Spark, you should know Scala, either Java, Scala, or Python. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yes,
So yeah. So and guys, I will ask you not to join any classes for Python because you guys are experienced enough to pick Python on your own. Okay. There's a lot of content on YouTube. There's a lot of content on Udemy. You don't have to do any expensive classes for that. Okay. You can do it or pick it on your own, provided you are in touch with programming from some time. Otherwise, it might be a little teething problem for you guys, but ultimately you will be able to pick it up. You just need to be very consistent with it. Anyway, so yeah, good discussion. I hope you take away something from there. So yeah, can we continue, Shiva, on the topic?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so coming back, so as I said, there are three tables in Snowflake, three types of tables in Snowflake. And we're looking at a temporary table right now. So Snowflake supports creating temporary tables for storing non-permanent transitory data, example ETL data or session-specific data. Temporary tables only exist within the session in which they were created and persist only for the remainder of the session. So Vinod has today asked me this question. Okay, so I hope it will get answered once I show this demo. And which shows that Vinod is starting to study a bit more deeply in Snowflake. So that's good. As such, they are not visible to other users or sessions. Once the session ends, data stored in the table is purged completely from the system and therefore is not recoverable either by the user who created the table or Snowflake. Additionally, other objects such as stages also can be created as temporary objects. So basically, it's not just tables which are temporary types. There's stages also which can be created as a temporary type. As it says, it is only applicable, the data is only residing in those tables till the time that session will be there, that session is active. And also other users. So this, I will be creating, say, a table through this user, ABD31 Snowflake. The other users in my account, like there would be multiple users, right? This user one and all that. So they won't be able to see it. Okay, so I will just quickly create one user also when I show you the demo. Only to force change. Okay, so I will log in with this user 2 also, and we'll see if that table we are able to access. So let's create one temporary table. It is very simple. All you need to do is when you are creating a table, you just need to say temporary here. Okay. For permanent tables, you don't need to say anything. So as I said, the default is permanent table only. So for temporary tables, you need to use this keyword called as temporary. So let me create this table quickly in DemoDB. Okay, table created. This is a temporary table. And if you see here, let me expand this. In the public schema, I've created it. See, this is the employees temp table I just created. Do you see any difference between employees temp and employees basic here? Do you guys?
Some clock symbol we can see.
Right. So if you see here, there's a clock symbol here, which denotes it's a temporary table. Okay, normal permanent tables will not have any, symbol like this. There will be normal, this grid type of icon, but here it comes with this icon. Okay. Now I will insert certain records here. Right, 8 records inserted. So employees temp, let me do a select. Okay, these 8 records we have inserted here, right? Now what I'll do is I'll open new session. See what it is. Doesn't exist. But if I come here, see, I am connected to DemoDB only and public also. Here also I'm connected to DemoDB and public, right? If I go to other session, it's not there. Right? I'll go to other user now. User 2. Okay, I'll connect to demo. It doesn't have those privileges, right? So what I'll do is, as of now, I will just give it all the who created that table. Account admin created it, right? So I'll give it the role of account admin as of now. And later I will remove it. I'll give it to user 2 also. Save. See, it just has, so now it has got it. Okay, account admin. So now everything is come. Right? Now, so what it said was, it was session specific. And so another session cannot see it, nor can the other users can see it. Okay? Nobody can see it. I've connected to DemoDB in public. Now, as soon as so this is my session. This is where I created my table, right? The temporary table. So what I'll do is, and here you can see the table here, right? Employees TMP. I'll just close it. Okay, I closed it. Basically, I killed that session. Let me open a new session. Let me refresh. And I'll open the DemoDB. Sorry about that. Okay, it's gone. So a table that you create as a temporary, it will only be persisting the data in it only till that session is active. Okay, it will not be accessible. Even if it's active, it will not be accessible from any other session or any other user. Okay, and once that active session is killed, that table will be completely removed, and it will, the other main point is, it will not be recoverable at all. Okay, your permanent tables, right, they are recoverable. If you have accidentally dropped it or deleted something, you can recover it. So we will see that in time travel when we do how to recover and in fail safe. But temporary table, they are not recoverable at all, which is why the cost or storage is less. Anything that you want to recover, you need to take a backup of it, right? When you take a backup and when you accidentally drop the original, then only you retrieve it from backup, which means you're additionally storing somewhere. But in temp, so that is how obviously you are additionally using memory location or memory area. So obviously that will cost you. But in temporary tables, you're not taking any backup. Basically, so you're not, utilizing the memory for additional purpose. So which is why there is no storage cost involved in temporary table after the session is over. But till the time the data is there, obviously Till that time, the storage cost will be incurred. Okay. So Vinod, you had asked some question. Does this answer? Does this explain what you have asked? I don't remember what you asked. You asked something related to temporary tables. Hello. Guys, am I audible?
Yes, Abdul.
Okay. I think Vinod is not there. I was okay. No problem. I think
Yes, Abdul. Yeah, it's related to time travel, basically. So once we go with that concept, then it will be clear, I think.
okay. But as of now, you understand what a
Yes.
temporary table is, right?
Yes,
It is
yes.
not recoverable.
Yes, yes. I'm clear on the temporary table. When it comes to time travel, I had that doubt actually, which I pinged you.
Yeah. So even in time travel, it will not be recoverable basically once you killed it.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, fine. So this is what we have completed for temporary tables. Let's go to storage considerations. See, for the duration of the existence of a temporary table, the data stored in the table contributes to the overall storage charges that Snowflake bills your account. Okay. So till that time, the data is existing in your table. For that time, it will be chargeable. To prevent any unexpected storage changes, particularly if you create large temporary tables in session that you maintain for periods longer than 24 hours, Snowflake recommends explicitly dropping these tables once they're no longer needed. So in case your session, you don't need it for more than say 24 hours, and your session is going on, and it is more than 24 hours. So obviously you're still incurring charges. So once you know that, okay, I don't need this table anymore, so you can go and explicitly drop it also. Okay, you don't have to kill the session to drop it. Through the drop command also you can do it. Okay, so basically if you create this table, session, so you have this temporary table, right? So they will show you the type of tables and all that. So if you want to drop it explicitly also, you can do it. Drop table employees this way, and the other way is to kill the session, right? That's what it is saying for storage considerations. You can also explicitly exit the session in which the table was created to ensure no additional charges are accrued. So the first one which I showed you by killing the session. So once it is gone, the table is gone, there will be no additional charges. But for the permanent table, even if you drop or delete data, it is recoverable, which means additional charges are still there. Okay, so we'll come to that soon. Yeah, naming conflicts. Similar to other tables, transient and permanent, temporary tables belong to a specified database and schema, right? We have to create it in some certain database and schema. So when I had not set the context on web UI, it was giving me error, right? So we need to assign it some database and some schema. However, because they're session-based, they aren't bound by the same uniqueness requirements. This means you can create temporary and non-temporary tables with the same name within the same schema. So basically, I will create this table only again with the same name of any non-temporary table. So let me create it as EMP basic. Okay, it's created. See, EMP basic one. And till the time it exists, it will not show you the other one here. Even if you try to insert the records as well. Sorry, because I have changed the name. Eight records. See, So basically, it shows me this data. So it basically takes precedence over the non-temporary table if you have created with the same name. But if I go to say the other session here, see, it is giving me the data of that employees. And if you see, we had just loaded 2 records, the 3 had failed, right? If you remember, just we did that. So other sessions, it is going to take the original non-temporary table. But if you have the same names in the same session, temporary table will take precedence. Even if you query on it, it will take precedence. Basically, it will not show you here at all. Okay, so you need to be careful with that. And here, if you drop the table, it will drop the temporary table. It will drop it or kill the session also. By killing the session also, it will go. So I have dropped it. Let me refresh it. See, my AMP basic one is back, the non-temporary one. If I query it, I have got the original non-temporary one. So let's read it. However, note that the temporary table takes precedence in the session over any other table with the same name in the same schema. This can lead to potential conflicts and unexpected behavior, particularly when performing DDL on both temporary and non-temporary tables. For example, you can create a temporary table that has the same name as an existing table in the same schema, effectively hiding the existing table. You can create a table that has the same name as an existing temporary table in the same schema. However, the newly created table is hidden by the temporary table. Subsequently, all queries and other operations performed in the session on the table affect only the temporary table. So that's the demo that we have seen just now. That basically, in a nutshell, if you have same names, the temporary table will take precedence. Okay. So this is one other property of temporary tables. Any doubts? I think it's quite simple. Any doubts before we proceed to the other topic? Okay. Yeah. So the third type is transient table. Okay. So even in that case, when you are creating it, you need to mention the keyword transient, right? So I'll just quickly copy this. But in India, right, Shiva, I mean, of course, in US it is a different culture, but in India, they look at specific skills. At least till now. I mean, if they're looking for Snowflake, they won't ask you anything else. I mean, at least that is there in India.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
So they hire only for Snowflake.
Yes, because 2 of my students went like that only. Na? In TCS interview, they asked if one of my students knows DBT also. There he did not get hired, but 2-3 interviews they only took Snowflake interview.
Oh. So they'll have some other person for writing maybe
Other
Python.
code. Hmm.
Oh,
Maybe Abdul, to add to this, maybe some consultants also they call me, so they are okay to only to up to the Snowflake's level actually. The reason is that no resource related to Snowflakes is very less in India actually. The people who know the Snowflake. So in part of what Shiva told Python, they are okay that we can learn and we can incorporate like that.
Correct. Correct.
oh, that's good. That's good. Maybe in here it is not like that. Here, maybe here the culture is different. Yeah.
Right. Right. So the last topic, guys, in the permanent tables, it is basically this is basically transient tables. So let's look at what transient tables are. So Snowflake supports creating transient tables that persist until explicitly dropped and are available to users with appropriate privileges. So in a nutshell, to understand, it is something similar to uh, permanent tables. Okay, so until it is not session specific or anything like that, or user specific. Until you explicitly drop it, the data will still persist there. So in that regard, there is no difference between uh, uh, what do you call permanent tables and transient tables. Okay, transient tables are similar to permanent tables with key difference that they do not have a fail-safe period. As a result, the transient tables are specifically designed for transitory data that needs to be maintained beyond each session, but does not need the same level of data protection and recovery provided by permanent tables. So what is a fail-safe period? We will come to know that. But as of now, just to understand, fail-safe period is something, a period provided by Snowflake until which you can recover your lost data. Okay. So if you would say delete your table, permanent table, or drop your permanent table, you up to a certain period of time, you can recover it completely as it is. But for transient tables, if you remove it, if you drop it, if you delete the data explicitly, of course, you will not be able to recover it. Simple. Okay. So obviously, basically, you're not taking a backup for transient tables. Even though you are storing it as long as the user wants, you're not taking any backups, which means it is also reducing your cost. Right? It is not charging you an additional backup cost, basically. So for tables where you need to use it across the sessions or maybe across the users, unlike temporary tables, that is when you can use it even for the temporary data itself. Okay, so let me create that. As I said, you have to use this keyword. So if I open here, as you can see, employees transient, you can see this other symbol now, not the clock one, but the settings kind of symbol. And if you go to other sessions, it is available to other sessions. If you go to other users, refresh it. It is available. Let me insert those records also. Eight records inserted. And here, obviously, if I query, it will show me anyway. So I will go to other sessions. Okay, you're able to query. This is my other user, user 2. You're able to query. Okay, so the key difference is that it is not recoverable, or we call it as a fail-safe period in Snowflake, which I will come to. And it is a very theoretical subject. It's not, there's no demo for it as such, but there is demo for time travel. So for fail-safe period, I will let you know once we come to the time travel topic. But there is no fail-safe. Basically, you can say there is no fail-safe period for temporary tables or transient tables. That is, they are not recoverable once you drop it. Okay. Simple. So storage considerations. Similar to permanent tables, transient tables contribute to the overall storage charges that Snowflake bills your accounts. However, because transient tables do not utilize failsafe, there are no failsafe costs. That is the cost associated with the maintaining of data required for failsafe disaster recovery. So as I said, in case of a disaster recovery, permanent tables can be recovered because they come with a backup, and we will see how Snowflake does it. But as far as the storage consideration for transient table is concerned, only till the time your data is persisting and you're not exclusively dropping or deleting that, only that particular storage will be considered. So if you go to account and if you go to the usage here, and if you go to the average storage used, there's something called as fail-safe cost. We just mentioned here, right? Fail-safe cost. Fail-safe cost. So this is the fail-safe cost. This will only be applicable to permanent tables. Okay, not to transient, not to temporary. So this is why you need to understand your requirement. So if you want a particular table just which is okay for your use for your particular session and not used later on, you can use temporary tables. But if you want a table which has to be used across sessions, across users, and later on it can be removed, use transient tables. And apart from, as I said, temporary case, apart from tables, stages can also be created as temporary, right? So if you go to the syntax of stages, it is there in the slide also. Create stage. See, temporary. Okay, so it's not that only that table can be created as temporary, stages can also be created as temporary. And uh, uh, transient databases and schemas can also be created as temporary. Table, schema, and database, they all can be created as created as transient. Snowflake also supports creating transient database and schemas. All tables created in a transient schema as well as all schemas created in a transient database are transient by definition. So if you create a transient database schema and if you create any schema inside it, by default it will be transient. And if you create any table inside a transient schema, by default it will be a transient table. Okay. And see this comparison chart. Temporary table persistence level is remainder of the session till the session is there. Time travel retention period is 0 or 1. Fail safe period is 0. Okay. Transient until explicitly dropped. Time travel is 0 or 1. And fail safe is 0. Permanent, if it's a standard edition, the default time travel is 1 and fail safe is 7. Permanent until explicitly dropped, time travel is 90 days and failsafe is 7. So what is time travel? What is failsafe? We will see soon in the next class. But that is the difference between these three types of tables. Okay. So I'll put this also in the drive. You can also just check it. So basically it's all about the storage consideration. The key factor or the key point you need to take away from this topic is the storage consideration. When if you want to save your cost, so you should know which table to use, whether temporary, transient, or permanent, right? So we'll stop here. Any doubts in this? It's quite a simple topic actually. See this batch 3 data application builders. Right? So this is basically connecting to your Snowflake account via Python, both to send and receive data. So this is also a very good batch workshop. That is why I'm telling you guys, do these badges workshop. It will anyway give you a badge which you can showcase on LinkedIn's, and also it will revise a lot of things for you and also enhance your knowledge in something new that you don't know. Okay. Okay, guys. So we'll stop here and we'll see you tomorrow. I mean, next week. And I gave you something to look for, right? As an assignment. I forgot that. Whatever it is, just message me on WhatsApp once you find that. I'll have to go.
You have already told Bharat that load is the retention period.
Okay.
That
Okay.
already you told us. Copy history. One year. That.
Yes. Okay. Okay, guys. So I will take your leave now, and we will meet next week. Have a good weekend ahead. Take care.
Same to you, Abdul. Same to you all. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.